Going to call the meeting for August 22nd, 2018 to order at 7:12. I just want to see you run. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Berman,
Here.
Bowman, Crawford,
Here.
Dwyer,
Here.
Fleming,
Here.
Gershenson, Gingell is excused, Hoffman, Jackson is excused, Kokendorfer,
Here.
Kowal, Long,
Here.
McGilvray,
Here.
Middleton,
Here.
Quarles, Spiz,
Here.
Taub, Teets, Whitebert,
Here.
Woodward, Zach. Here. Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Great, thank you. Now I'm going to call on Commissioner McGilvray, and I ask everyone to please rise for the invocation and stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Can we bow our heads, please? Thank you, Lord, for leading us tonight so that we can serve the residents and businesses of Oakland County. We ask that you watch over homeless folks throughout Oakland County who may be having a rough time. We ask that you watch over our hardworking employees and keep them safe as they do their duties. And we also ask that you bless us all with a kind gesture for each other so that this world gets better as we go along. We ask for your guidance tonight so that we can make the decisions that are best represent our residents and businesses. We pray in your name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from the August 9th, 2018 meeting. Yeah, close enough. Moved by Fleming, supported by Zach. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes have been approved. Next we'll move on to approval of the agenda. I'll call on the Majority Caucus Chair, Commissioner Shelley Taub.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have two additions to the agenda. The first is General Government Committee, Agenda Item B, Department of Health and Human Services Division, QPCR methods for Oakland County Beaches Grant Contract with the Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ project number 2018-7216. We're going to waive Rule 3. The resolution was taken up by the General Government Committee immediately prior to today's meeting. The fiscal note was previously taken up by the Finance Committee on August 16th, 2018. The next item is, and that item will go on the consent agenda. The next item also goes on the consent agenda. It's item B, MR 18297, Water Resources Commissioner Unit Reorganization. And again, I'm going to waive Rule 3. This resolution was taken up by the Human Resources Committee immediately prior to today's meeting. The resolution was taken up by the Planning and Building Committee on July 31st, 2018. The fiscal note was taken up by the Finance Committee on August 16th, 2018. I would like to amend the agenda to include those two items. With that, I move the agenda as amended.
So we have a motion by Taub to move the agenda as amended, and we have a support by Commissioner Woodward. All in favor of the agenda as amended indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda has been approved. Change the profile slightly. Next, we're going to move on to communications. We need to move away from our current meeting and open a public hearing, which I'll call the public hearing open at 7:15 for the Sheriff's Office 2018 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant Program Subrecipient Agreement and Grant Application. Is there anyone here to talk specifically on this matter? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Next, we're going to move on to proclamations, and this is where we get a chance to recognize individuals within our community that have done great work. With that, I'm going to call up Commissioner Shelley Taub.
Ron and Mike, would you like to come up here, please? Are you a grandfather? Are you a grandfather? Now, oftentimes we don't have the luck of having two grandfathers getting awards from this community, but they are truly the heroes of anyone who lives on or near a lake. So I'm going to read this one proclamation. They basically say the same thing. And afterwards, families who want to come up and take pictures can do that too. This is honoring Ron Cousineau and Mike West. Whereas we all owe a tremendous debt to the special individuals like Ron Cousineau and Mike West of Upper Long Lake in Bloomfield Township. Whereas in 2009, Ron Cousineau and Mike West, neighbors and longtime residents at Upper Long Lake in Bloomfield Township, began to notice the early signs of Phragmites, an invasive grass that was starting to encroach on the outer edges of their lake. And whereas Phragmites can be found in many areas, in fact, they told me there's some right around the county, and we have to take care of it. Yeah. In Oakland County, especially around lakes, wetlands, and ditches. Once they take root, they spread rapidly, forcing out native plant species and threatening the health of our lakes. And whereas Ron and Mike developed their own unique technique and approach to eliminate the invasive species without the use of chemicals, by cutting them at specific times of the year, cutting the plants at the water level as the water level changes deprives the plants of nutrients. Within a few years, Ron and Mike saw a dramatic decrease in the number of Phragmites and native plants started to return to the lake. And whereas their system has since been tried in other areas like Wolverine Lake. Yep. And where it has proven successful. Ron and Mike were recently awarded the 2018 Richard Morey Michigan Inland Lakes Riparian of the Year Award by the Michigan Lake and Stream Association for their outstanding work. And whereas we join with Ron Cousineau and Mike West, who's over here, their family, their friends, and our entire community to congratulate them on this special honor that is being bestowed upon them, in recognition of the tremendous amount of time, effort, and innovation they have dedicated to protecting our local lakes from invasive species. Now, therefore, Mike Gingell, Chairman of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, together with myself, Shelley Taub, and the entire Oakland County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim special commendation to Ron Cousineau and Mike West. We wish them continued success in their future endeavors. And if you have a lake you want fixed, just come talk to them.
For those of you who happen to have Phragmites around your property right now, and that includes Oakland County in this particular area, this is the time of year to actually do something very specific and aggressive. Don't let them go to seed over the fall and create thousands of seeds for the following season. This is the time to do it. And Mike and I are open to working with people because we have a publication that we've published that will give you instructions as to how to do this.
Great job. Yeah, I'll just add to what Ron said. When you go home today, you'll inevitably pass a stand of Phragmites. In fact, they're right outside the buildings here. What you want to do is get your weed whacker or your pruning shears and cut them. You might have to cut them several times, but you'll eventually kill them, and you won't have to use any chemicals. And the technique that we use, by the way, as far as we know, is the first kind in the state. The state promotes chemicals. Most people don't want chemicals, and we've gotten a ton of emails from people asking for help because they don't want chemicals. Your weed whacker or your pruning shears can do the job. Thank you. Thank you, Shelley. Oh, okay. Okay.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike and Ron. Commissioner Taub.
Now, we're going from grandparents, grandfathers, to little kids. Tasso, will you come up, please? We don't have a stool for you, so why don't you stand right here? On July 10th, 2018, 8-year-old Tasso Stasinopoulos, I think I did that right, performed the Heimlich maneuver on his younger brother Stavi, who's also here, when he started choking on an olive. Stavi made a full recovery and survived due to the actions of his brother Tasso, who demonstrated incredible composure, bravery, and skill. And the Oakland County Board of Commissioners would like to commend Tasso for his life-saving actions. We recognize him and we applaud him for his tremendous act of heroism. And I'd like to ask his brother, Savi, and his other brother, and his mom and dad to come up here if they would. We'll take some pictures, okay? Stavi, are you here? Do you want to come? Come on. This is the brother that was saved. Sometimes we worry about the next generation, but I don't think we have any worry with this family.
Thank you, Tasso, and thank you, Commissioner Taub. Next, I'll call on Commissioner Long.
Good evening. If I can have all the Children's Village staff that are here for their awards come up at once, and Jody and Kathy, please. Put on my cheap glasses. Make sure all of them from both instruments come up, yeah, I think. And the two, did Mike come up and Carla come up too? Sure. Okay, are they up here? Jody? Is Mike and Carla gonna come up? Yes. Okay. That's okay. Yeah. Carla's right here. Okay, good. Here's Carla. Hi. Okay, I think I just want to say this is a wonderful bunch of employees. It's my honor to give you a proclamation tonight. So on October 26, 2017, I think some of the commissioners had heard about this. The following Children's Village staff helped save the life of their colleague, Mike Eversole. Is Mike here? Mike's here. So I want to put a face to all the names here. By performing CPR and administering the AED, which is the portable defibrillator. On this incident, Amanda Allgood is the youth specialist supervisor. If you can just put your, then we can put faces to the names. Laura Beal is the program supervisor. Darren Clark is the youth specialist supervisor. Behind. Ryan Gammon, youth specialist third, are two, right? Shannon Hahn is the general staff nurse. She's not here, okay. And Cynthia Montgomery is the general staff nurse. She's here, okay, great. And then on August 7th, not only did they do this one time, and I was kind of joking around, I hate to do that for you folks, but I said if I have chest pain, I might just go in Children's Village, because I know I'll be all right. You guys are wonderful. And on August 7, 2008, the following Children's Village staff helped save the life of Carla Jensen, who is right here behind us, by performing CPR and administering the defibrillator also. And Tracy Tuning, the contingent staff nurse, and Patricia Thompson, the general staff nurse, and Mary Wright was the first cook. Where is she here? Okay, she's right there. So I'm just going to read one proclamation for all of them, and they all received a proclamation. I just like to say all of us here are very grateful to you, and what a wonderful fast reaction and wonderful staff you are. So I'm going to read one, and it's whereas on October 26, 2017, a Children's Village employee suffered a medical emergency and staff members acted quickly and bravely to save the life of their colleague. And whereas this one's for Shannon Hahn, a Children's Village general staff nurse was one of the courageous individuals whose speed, skill, and clear thinking during emergency contributed to saving a life. Shannon responded immediately without doubt or hesitation to assist with the medical emergency. Her responsiveness and keen presence of mind were critical to saving the life of her coworker. And whereas thankfully the patient has recovered, and according to medical staff at the hospital, survived the incident due to the Children's Village employees who responded so quickly to provide critical medical attention. And whereas we join Kathy Forsley, Director of Oakland County Health and Human Services, and the leadership of Children's Village to express our incredible gratitude to and admiration for all of the staff who acted so quickly and bravely to save the life of a coworker. And it's signed by the chairman of the board, Michael Gingell, and all the Board of Commissioners. And I just want to thank you. It's very, very humbling. And I think Kathy would like to say a few words. Jody, do you want to too?
Okay. So I also wanted to say my personal gratitude and thank you to this fabulous staff for their tremendous efforts to save two wonderful lives in Children's Village. It's one thing to be trained, but it's another thing to respond when the emergency happens. The other thing I wanted to add, and not to minimize by any means everything that these employees did, but I also want to recognize and acknowledge that behind this team, there's always a support team of there was another support team of staff that they also rose to the occasion, clearing a space, going outside to make sure EMS knew where to come, making the phone calls, whatever they did. Everyone needs that kind of support, and Children's Village, we had no shortage of people to support the effort. So I'd like to acknowledge this group again, and also those that stood behind them to make sure that these lives were saved. So thank you all very much.
So I don't know that I can say what I'd like to say quickly, but I'll give it a good shot. Sadly, we've had 3 massive heart attacks at Children's Village, and I think maybe the last year and a half. And it's just beyond words to explain how fast the support staff and the medical staff at Children's Village were on the scene and able to instinctually provide CPR and AED and save the lives of 3 different employees. I hope in my career and our careers we don't see it again. I think the odds may be against it, but it's been a short amount of time to see such incredible acts by Children's Village staff, many of whom are not trained in CPR. It's not part of their job classification. It's not something they ever probably anticipated having to do, but they did it, and they did it incredibly well.
Thank you. We already got our picture too, so. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Long, and thank you, everyone.
Great job.
Next on our agenda, we're going to move on to a presentation from the Oakland Community Health Network. With that, I will call on the CEO, Annette Downey, and Shaka McDonald to please come forward.
Hello, everyone, and good evening. My name is Annette Downey, and I'm the new CEO at the Oakland Community Health Network, and I'm very thrilled to be invited to speak with you today. I look forward to meeting each of you, having conversations, learning about your priorities. Mostly, I look forward to supporting our community members well in collaboration and partner with you and our other community partners. Some of you I already know. I have 25 years experience working with as a service provider for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. In addition to that, I have personal family experience with members of my immediate family experiencing mental health needs, which I'm sure is not uncommon. If we know the statistics, 1 in 5 people each year will be diagnosed with a mental health need, and that's why the work we do is so important. One of my big missions and goals in my role is to make sure we can do everything possible to reduce the stigma of having a mental illness diagnosis or a substance use need for treatment. I see a world and I envision a future where people will feel comfortable coming forward to saying they need treatment and assistance just like they would if they were diagnosed with cancer or diabetes, blood pressure. I want people with bipolar or depression or anxiety or have suicidal thoughts to be able to say, I need help, I want treatment, and that they won't feel embarrassed to come forward. So we're making some immediate steps to try and reduce stigma and to make mental health needs something that people speak about and every day and aren't embarrassed about, and that people in our family know that they have our support just like they would if they were diagnosed with some kind of a health diagnosis. We have partnerships throughout the entire community. We're very proud of the work we do with the Oakland County Schools, the local hospitals, substance use providers, the Oakland Health Division, and we have partnered on many important initiatives. And as I come to you in future months, I understand you like to hear from us on a regular basis of what our initiatives are, how we're addressing suicide prevention, opioid epidemic, and all the things that matter so much to our community. So I look forward to having lots of dialogue. Today, though, I wanted to introduce a new initiative that we have started just this year. We got some grant funding for assistance and support for veterans and their family. So with that, I wanted to introduce you to a newer member of our team, Shaka McDonald, so he can talk about the important work we're doing with veterans. So turn over to Shaka.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shaka McDonald, and I'm the Veterans and Military Family Navigator for Oakland County. My role and goal is to assist any and all veterans, regardless of discharge, regardless of when they served, from Holly to Ferndale, with navigating them or directing them to various supports that are in the community. So from housing to medical to transportation to employment. I am the son of a very proud United States Marine. I have 2 uncles served in Vietnam, a sister-in-law that currently is active duty right now in the United States Army. And like I said, my main focus, our main focus as OCHN is to make sure all veterans and their family members are connected to the various resources that are in the county and tri-county area. On your table, you'll see that we have 2 events that OCHN, we have partnered with the DIA, more of a kind of an art therapy type of event. We're not labeling it as that, but I did have a chance to see some veterans, Vietnam-era veterans from the VA, create and put their experiences on paper. It was pretty awesome. The other event is an event that we're partnering with, OCHN is partnering with the Red Cross and various other providers in the community, bringing veterans and their families together on a Saturday. And that's free to everyone to attend and take part in.
So with that, I want to thank you. Thank you, Shaka. Thank you. I know you've all been very supportive of our public mental health system, and I look forward to continued dialogue and collaboration and partnership and speaking with you at future meetings to let you know the great things we're doing to support our local community. So thank you for welcoming to the team. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner, I have a
Anybody?
question.
Commissioner Zach.
So I want to thank you. I think these are wonderful programs that are very relevant in our communities. Did you circulate these flyers to the local cities, villages, and townships so that they can post this in their different newsletters, web pages, Facebook? Because I think it's important information to get out there.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
I was going to say, our public relations and communications director is in the back of the room.
Okay,
I know
thank
she's
you,
very good
Chris.
at distribution, in addition to our website, doing distribution to the local
I should
entities.
have known better, so thank you.
We want the entire community to not only be aware of the good work we do, but please be part of it. So thank you for making
you.
sure that you keep us on target with that.
Any other questions at this time? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming out and bringing us up to speed. Thank you. Madam Clerk, any other communications to come before us today? Seeing none, moving on to the next item on our agenda, which is public comment. We have a few individuals that have signed up, but if you have not signed up, you'll have an opportunity at the end to come up and speak. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. There'll be a clock here with a nice beeping sound at the end once you hit that 3 minutes, and once you hit the 3 minutes, please begin to wrap up your comments. So first on the list, I'm going to probably abuse this name. Okay. Jane DeBoer Rouse.
Not so tall. Hello, I am Jane DeBoer Rouse. I am one of the nurses with the Oakland County Health Department. I'm just here to talk a little bit about the nurses. As you know, we are on the front line of nursing. We have been heavily involved with the Hep A outbreaks within the community, and we are lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. We are looking at basically a shortage of nurses in our department. We are having a hard time attracting new nurses. One of the reasons could be pay, one of the reasons could be benefits. We obviously love our jobs. We work very hard to serve our community through our clinics and our community. Our clinics see approximately 10,000 STI patients a year. We see approximately 15,000 immunization patients, providing over 45,000 immunizations a year. We currently are working with approximately 10 nurses at the South office and 8 nurses at the North office. So we're being stretched pretty thin within this context. Some of the things we would like to talk about is ways to attract more nurses. One of the things we think is benefits, possibly looking at comp time for the nurses. We also would like to think about personal time. Some of the local counties have more personal time than we have. We do get 5 days a year. Washtenaw gets 12 days a year, and Macomb gets 14. So a thought there that maybe we can increase that time to help attract more nurses. And that's about it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next on the list, we have Fran McLeish.
Good evening. My name is Fran McClish. I'm also a public health nurse with the Oakland County Health Division and a co-worker with Jane. Actually, this is my third time speaking. The first 2 times I spent hours, literally hours, preparing a speech, going it over and over and over again with a stopwatch. This time, I'm doing it off the cuff, because the first 2 times obviously was a waste of your time and mine, and I apologize for that. So this time is coming from the heart, and now I don't know what to say. No, actually I do, it's just a lot. But Oakland County is lagging behind in the surrounding counties with benefits. So I please ask all of you to take the time to look at our proposals. They're solid, they're good proposals. They'll bring us up to date, with the other counties. Truthfully, I'm, nearing the end of my career here with Oakland County. I'm getting to the age in my career where people are asking me, so when are you going to retire, Fran? And that's a question that I just want to say, not yet. I'm not ready yet. But it will be in the next couple of years. My coworkers are young, they're smart, they're computer savvy, and these are the nurses that not only do we want to retain, but we also want to recruit. And I think that the proposals that hopefully you'll go over, you'll see that we want those young nurses, we want to keep them so that we could provide the good quality service that we have in the past. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Fran. Next, we have Jody White.
Fran, you took my line. I'm doing the same thing. This is my second time. I've come up a little angry and upset today. I'm really here to say thank you for what has been going on, so I'm here to basically give you a quick update. We had Mr. Crawford, who was following a lot of my emails that I have been sending out, and because of that, we have been able to get a letter from the probate judges saying that there's some dissemination of misinformation. So we have been asking the judges to please contact us and let us know what the information is. They have not done that yet, but we did come on the 19th with my husband and I. On August 9th, more people came. Tonight, we have a couple people, but they're not ready to speak. We are getting some assistance with Mr. Hutton. He's the probate administrator, so we want to thank him for it. He is asking us to go ahead and get a meeting with the chief judge of probate for consideration, which is really exciting to all of us because we want to meet with her. There's a couple concerns about what she's requiring from us. She's asking for our current occupation, which I don't think that should matter if someone's messing with our estates. That's none of their business. We're a constituent, we're an Oakland County resident, and it's our money, our legacy, our life savings. The other thing that they're asking is if we're involved with any media outlets. And that bothers me because 2016 and 2017, the local WXYZ told everybody about the probate stuff. I didn't know about those links, but I know about them now. And then just in May, our county clerk and our county treasurer really opened up our eyes because our property, our $2 million winery up in Farmington, is in foreclosure, and we're being charged a stay fee. And our trustee is a public administrator here in Oakland County. So in this last minute, I really want to say thank you for allowing us to come up here and air our concerns because we don't know what to do. We believe by you people listening, as our elected officials, they are at least trying to talk to us constituents as we want to clarify what the policies and procedures are. There is none right now, and it's a lot of poor decorum. I believe the people are coming up next. I'm going to go so that they can talk, but thank you again, and we'll be back in 2 weeks again with another update. So thank you again for having us.
Thank you, Jody. Next, we have Jeff White.
Hello, appreciate y'all allowing us here to speak today. My name is Jeff White. I'm a business owner in Oakland County, and I'm here on my third 3-minute public communication to keep the county commissioners and others aware of, how my story is unraveling. I have a third-party person who is not a member of the Oakland County Bar Association, Oakland County Bar Foundation, and those who don't know him, I'm going to name his name out today. His name is Mr. Joe Ehrlich, and he is working hand in hand with a county public administrator by the name of Thomas Brennan Frazier in front of a courtroom with the elected Oakland County probate judge Daniel O'Brien. And Joe Ehrlich makes many false statements, and this is his latest statement in his work product. On August 17th, I went to the courtroom just out here, and it reads, I have no standing to bring this matter before the court about my own father and my family of my 4 brothers. I do believe I have standing to protect and preserve my father's estate and his affairs from a systemic issue revealed by the general public on WXYZ local news in 17 and 18 that was talked about before. Our family dynamic has forever been changed since Adult Protective Services revealed to the court next door about my oldest brother cashing in a bond valued at $90,000. At that time, Mr. Frazier gravitated to this nefarious one in my family, which he has done in other families, as I have noticed just recently. Also his sidekick, Joe Ehrlich, and they do this for billable hours purposes, as a ways and means to sanction constituents who use this court jurisdiction. When I use the word systemic, I mean, this really is. I mean, it goes deep down. I mean, last week my legal dynamic has changed again since the probate judge just allowed my attorney to withdraw. So I did have an attorney, and everybody says, speaking about getting attorneys, no one wants to deal with this systemic problem over there. I have questions of why my family is engaged with this third-party person, Joe Ehrlich, who is able to create the wildest fictional stories that always ends in mayhem, why the public administrator is allowed to hire this creative writer to represent him in the court, and I can't get a jury trial. And I'm asking if this commission could please provide me some form of task force to do some research for the purpose of the court rules to be established in the uniform rules and procedures for all levels in the Michigan court system, as our family is still waiting for a vital court document for our family's estate. For the record, the matter before the court is to request just an annual accounting from the public administrator who has worn many hats in my father's affairs and estate. This public administrator, as a special fiduciary, was court ordered to monitor our finances in 2012. And for my father, after my dad, John White, was given a legal label of being an alleged incapacitated individual. He was suffering from dementia and sundowners, and these coming-of-age mental conditions are horrible, and so he was being labeled as an incapacitated individual. When my father died in 2014, this probate court, Judge O'Brien refused to allow my family member to be the personal rep. Instead of providing another priority role he provided another priority role for a public administrator. I mean, it's always family first. And I think that was brought to the attention last time we were out here. Now, not only is our family business and commercial building in the tax foreclosure process, but Tom Frazier is using this third-party attorney to harass our family financially. Frazier used the probate court through an April 18, 2018 emergency ex parte communication to manipulate good governance. Now our dad's retirement home that was in Florida is a source of income to Mr. Frazier for his own self-interest. How incompetent for this trustee. I mean, as a public administrator, where is his accounting? I mean, he just doesn't have any accounting since 2016. Now on June 6, 2018, Mr. Frazier has petitioned the court to become our family's sole trustee of our dad's estate. Probate Judge Dan O'Brien is allowing Mr. Frazier and his non-Oakland County Bar member, Sidekick Joe, to create fraudulent methodology theories, to sign an out-of-state document illegally for grandchildren's college funds. These attorneys and Judge O'Brien are refusing to follow a good order that was put in place by Judge Pizzetti on March 7th, 2018. She just mandated the trustee to just sign the documents right over and for
Mr.
my
White?
daughter.
Mr. White, can I ask you to wrap it up, please?
I will do that.
Thank you.
So I'm asking, can this honorable council of commissioners please contact me as I am trying to meet with Chief Judge Kathleen Ryan. It is an open invitation to all of you, but the invitation again, you know, we must give our credentials to the probate administrator, Edward Hutton III, to participate. And at the very least, do you as commissioners have Thomas Brennan Frazier's credentials and resume for Mr. Hutton, as we are being contacted by many unsatisfied customers of his unsatisfied customers who want to meet Judge Kathleen Ryan also. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White. Next, we have Victoria
May I
McCasey.
give my phone number out?
Sure.
734-564-8402.
Good evening. My name's Victoria McCasey, and this is my second time before the commissioners, and I appreciate your patience. I told you my story last time, and this time I'm here to explain about how I feel that my case and the Oakland County courts are corrupt. And I will explain to you about my last time in court was August 3rd. And I had gone into court because it was my petition that was supposed to go before the judge. And Mr. Ehrlich got involved and Tom Frazier got involved with trying to disengage my witness that I had brought to court for the financials on our case, in the court. And you'll have to forgive me, I'm very nervous. Anyhow, I brought in my financials. It shows that my brother-in-law, Carl Rader, was involved from day one, from the time that Conrad killed himself, till about February, and when he stepped down. And Mr. Ehrlich did not want him to speak that morning on my behalf. So he purposely went over and tampered with my witness and talked to him and went over and asked him in front of everybody in the courtroom, do you want to get out from under this today? And of course, then he said, yes, I do. He took them outside into the hall and talked to him and then brought him back in, went before the judge and told her that he didn't think it was necessary for them to have Sonny there, that's his nickname, Sonny, my brother-in-law, to go over the financials, which he has a copy of, and he knows that he's been involved from day one. As well as they argued on the clock for an hour and 20 minutes about how my witness was brought in by a subpoena. I was shocked. I was appalled by their behavior. Not only did I hear that, but later on that morning I heard from Miss White that the neighbors, my neighbors were there as well to intimidate me, which didn't work. But she let me know that Tom Frazier had bought flowers for one of the potential witnesses that I had as well. And that's another way of tampering. These guys are going into the court system and they're doing their song and dance, and I'm not getting my day in court. I think the judge doesn't know what to think or what to do, or perhaps maybe she's involved with them. I don't know personally, and I'm not going to take her on yet because she hasn't proven that to me yet. I'm still going to give her the opportunity to do the right thing. But right now, today, the way I see things, I'm not going to get a fair trial or a shake in court. I want them to show their financial, what they're taking out of my estate. They have refused to do so. They will not let me have my day in court with my petition. So I'm coming here today to let you know that I am very dissatisfied And I'm asking help again for someone to either step in and help us with this, because it's a big problem. And I just found out that Aretha Franklin passed away and didn't have a will or her affairs in order, and now she's going to be with my judge, and I'm sure she's going to assign Tom Ehrlich to the estate. I'm sure of it, and they're going to be right where I am today. And I don't want to see that happen to any other families. This has got to stop, and we're asking for help here. And what they're doing to the public at large, going into the court system, it's a travesty for us. It's terrible. So I'm going to end that on that note. I thank you for listening. I appreciate it. And I also want to thank you because I do have a letter from Mr. Hutton trying to set up an appointment so we can talk to Judge Ryan. I'm hoping she'll come forward and be open and honest as I'm going to be and try to seek a way to help me with this. So I appreciate your time and thank you for listening, and I appreciate anything you can do to help me. Thank you.
Thank you. That's everyone we have that signed up today. Is there anyone that did not sign up that would like to come up to the microphone and speak today? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next part of our agenda, which is reports of standing committees, which is the consent agenda. I'll take a motion from Long, supported by Zach, for approval of the consent agenda as presented. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Bowman? Crawford?
Yes.
Dwyer?
Yes.
Fleming?
Yes.
Gershenson? Hoffman? Kokendorfer?
Yes.
Kowal?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
McGilvray?
Yes.
Middleton? Quarles? Spiz?
Yes.
Taub?
Yes.
Teets? Teets? Not here. Okay, disappeared. Whitebird?
Here. Yeah.
Woodward? Zach?
Yes.
Berman?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 18 yeas, 0 nays.
18 yeas, 0 nays. The consent agenda has been approved. Next, we'll move on to the regular agenda. We have one item to come before us, with that from Commissioner Dwyer from the Public Services Committee. Commissioner Dwyer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have one item as you indicated. It's the Sheriff's Office creation of positions for security at the Water Resources Commissioner's Office, and I recommend referral to HR and Finance.
Without objection, refer to HR and Finance. Commissioner Dwyer.
That concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Dwyer. With that, we'll move on to the reports of, or the next items on our agenda, which is reports of special committees, which we have none. Special order of business, which we have none. We don't also have no unfinished business, but we do have some new and miscellaneous business, I believe.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a miscellaneous resolution signed by most all of the commissioners, and it will recognize September 2018 as National Hispanic Heritage Month, and I'd like that referred to general government.
Without objection, referred to general government. Thank you. Any additional new or miscellaneous business to come before us? Seeing none, any announcements today? Seeing none, I'll call us adjourned until September 5th, 2018 at 7 p.m. or the call of the chair.